Shelby, talk to me a little bit about why you felt it was necessary towards working towards employing more women in your role as a delivery executive.
I think a lot of the times when you are in a role for a really long time, some of the everyday tasks and like the monotony of the role sort of become the focus and you lose sight of what's really going on. And I remember it was last year on International Women's Day, and I was scrolling through LinkedIn and seeing all the posts that people are posting. And I was like, oh, well, I need to go ahead and post to make sure I'm posting as well. And it kind of hit me that I was being a little bit hypocritical because I hadn't really thought about anything or done anything with the platform that I had to really like utilize it and be able to go out of my way to, promote another woman or really focus in on the female population within technology. So as I was kind of typing it, I went back through my book of business and I was kind of scrolling through and realized that less than 50% of my contractors and my current consultants were female. And it wasn't a huge, like monstrous number to kind of even that up. It wasn't like, 80-20 or something like that. But I remember thinking to myself, as I was putting up this post that, I have the platform and I have the ability to be able to help a woman to get into her dream job, or even if it's not that, the stepping stone to the role that will become her dream job. And I wasn't really thinking about it. And even if I was thinking about it, I wasn't thinking about it from the perspective of her, right? I was thinking about it as, oh, this is my job to fill these roles. And if it's for a woman, like, cool. But it was never something that was at the forefront of my mind. And I think it was almost a realization as I was typing up, that post on LinkedIn that I needed to do more, that I had the opportunity to do more. And it spoke to me. It was just kind of like a realization moment where I was like, you know what, this is a very limited platform that not everybody has. And I wanted to make sure that if I did have it and I was thinking about it and I had the opportunity to do it, that I was going to make it a focus. And so I just decided then and there, like, I need to have the opportunity to work with more women. I need to network with more women. And I want to make sure that on my own side, from what I can do, that I'm doing everything I can to at least create equal opportunities for both men and women.
That's great. So when you decided to kind of, I guess, put that stake in the ground and you made that decision of, I want to work towards employing more women, what strategy worked best for you in terms of finding that talent?
Yeah, for me, that's an easy answer. It's referrals. I think that I connect really well with other women, just coming from that background myself. There's not a ton of women in technology. I know that there are a lot of female recruiters out there, but even that, when you're establishing a relationship with someone, it's not always that first connection where you immediately hit it off or feel something. But for me, I really tried to treat every relationship and every call that I had with any net new person as an opportunity to get to know her and to get to know her network as well, right? Because at the end of the day, I think what worked for me was just being upfront and transparent about my goals. I want to employ more women in the technology workforce, and there's not a lot of, backlash to having that conversation with someone on the front end. It's not something that people, don't take to. So I usually say, like, hey, I am, making a conscious effort to employ more women. Are you part of any networking groups within the PMI chapter, for example? Or are you connected with a couple of women in the area that you would like to speak with? And I think especially with the pandemic last year and a lot of people going to a more remote aspect, I was able to really broaden that network to not just Raleigh-based women that know each other through, being neighbors or know each other from a book club or something like that. It's really people that have connected with project managers in California or have worked a project and they remember a business analyst that they supported back in Colorado. And it's really made it a lot easier for them to reach out and show value to sending referrals that aren't in my local area. And I think that's why last year it was probably a good time to have that realization, because it really did open up a wider network for me to explore than rather just like my local community.
That's great. Yeah, there was a Forbes article that I read somewhat recently that really talked about the power of relationships. And I think obviously a relationship is the core of any referral that you'll receive. So when you create that connection based off of shared interests and goals, that's when the success is going to benefit you and the person that you're referring to be part of that new network. So tell us, why do you think that this holds true for consultants that you've placed over the last year in terms of relationships?
Yeah, for me, I don't think that I was thinking about relationships from a long-term perspective. I was thinking, hey, if I make a good impression on this person, maybe they'll want to work with me on this one job that I'm working on. If they're not a fit, maybe they'll send me one person that is a fit for this job that I'm working on. And I think as I started to explore some of these relationships a little bit further, I realized that I was looking for something not for the instant placement. I was looking for something that I could really grow. So for example, you have a conversation with one person, maybe they're not a fit for that job that you're working on, and they do send you that one referral. Fantastic. That is a referral that you can place at a time. That's wonderful. But it's really more the ripple effect, right? So by having a conversation with one person that refers me to another person, that person can then refer me to one or two more people. And all of a sudden I have 5 people based on one conversation with one person. And I think when I started seeing some of that ripple effect and realizing how far that really went out, I was able to then focus more in on that first initial conversation because I realized the value add that came with it. So maybe I am spending an extra 5, 10, 15 minutes with somebody, really developing a relationship from the get-go for something that's not going to be maybe beneficial for this quarter, right? But I am establishing a relationship with someone that maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, I'm still connected with, I'm still networking with, and they're sending me referrals over the course of that 5-year relationship. And it's really more of that like long-term marathon mindset of really just growing what my actual network is and what my value add is. And at the end of the day, our interests are the same. My only interest is to place a quality person into a quality role for them. And if their interest is finding a new role or supporting a friend that's looking for a new role, there's really no downside to our networking. So it really is just a win-win for everybody if we can just be transparent and upfront from the get-go on what we're looking for.
Yeah, well, I think those relationships that you had obviously led you to a really high referral number. And over the last year or so, you've had an increase and you've had 83% more referrals from women than men, which I think really speaks to what we talked a little bit about earlier in the power of relationships and why women are typically looking to elevate other women. So with that being said, what is one piece of advice that you would give to others, whether they be a recruiter, whether they be, someone else who is just looking to elevate other women in the workforce? What's one piece of advice you would give to others that are looking to do something similar?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are so many different ways that we can help each other out as women in the technology field and even outside of that. But something as simple as liking or commenting on a LinkedIn post increases their visibility, even if it's something that has nothing to do with you. It shows your network what you are connecting with, and it gives them the opportunity to potentially be seen by somebody else outside of business, right? We can support small women-owned businesses, whatever they are doing. We can reach out and mentor a woman that's maybe more green in their careers. The options are really endless. I think that everyone is in a position to do something. It could be small, it could be larger. I mean, not everyone is, in the opportunity that we're in where we can place people into jobs. But if you're in an opportunity where you have time on your hands to give back and have a 30-minute phone call with a girl that just started in your office, I think that even something that small, when you think about the ripple effect of that conversation, is really meaningful to that person. And if 1 or 2 of us are doing that once or twice a week, I mean, imagine the ripple fold of that effect.
Great.